The next website I'd like to talk to you guys about is something that I use for my Earth and Space Science classes when we're looking at astronomy and the universe. It's something that it's a topic at least that I know my students struggle with because it's not very much on their level. It kind of it's hard to get an idea of the scale that you're working with, as well as our position in relation to other things throughout the solar system, even when students have a hard time understanding the geography of just our world itself. So there's a few different ones that I use. In fact, if I'm looking at all these different things that they have as options, I don't use near to even half of these, but there are a few that I do implement year after year because I believe it gives them a good chance to see what's really going on within our solar system. One of the first ones that we start to look at is looking at our kind of smaller system just between the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. And this is a really simple one that helps them get the idea of how the lunar phases change because of where the Moon is at. This is also fortunately one that we can do in the classroom pretty easily, just using a flashlight and then a golf ball, tennis ball, or anything like that, and moving that around and changing our perspective from it. But they also like the idea of being able to see it overhead and see how really it's the Moon that's causing this the entire time and how that's changing with other things as well. Another one that I use throughout my classes, especially when we start looking at Kepler's laws, is looking at planetary orbits. And this actually goes through all the different laws. I don't have my students sit here and do every single thing, but it helps us get an idea, especially for Kepler's second law. One of the biggest things that I really enjoy about this one is you can actually set it up to show you Kepler's law as well as hear it itself. And I know I don't have sound through Screencast-O-Matic, but every single time it changes color on this, it's going to be making an audible click. And if we have this actually start sweeping through, the clicks are the exact same amount of time in between each of them. The weird thing is, if I look at this, we would typically say that the blue and the yellow over here are probably the largest area, but they're actually the exact same. And it's a really weird concept for students to get used to. They understand that, well, it makes sense for this to be going slow away from the sun and then much faster closer to it, but it's hard for them to see that the surface area is actually constant throughout. So hearing that being the same really helps them kind of get the idea that we're not cheating the system or anything like that, but that it is going to be equal area that is passing through as it's going faster near the sun and slower further away. One other one that I use, again, kind of on the more brief side, since they hopefully have some background on this when they come to me in high school, is looking at different seasons. Most people have the understanding that's the tilt of the Earth causing the seasons every single year. Of course, have the misconceptions that we get to talk about and address for what's actually causing that difference. So if I just let this play through here, we can start to see how that angle is going to be changing. And what I really like about this is that it gives us multiple perspectives. We have the Earth compared to the sun. We have our view of just the Earth and how much sunlight we were getting all the time, and then what we would actually see here on the surface of the Earth. So it really helps them to be able to tie in, okay, I know that during the summer my shadow is not as long as it is during the winter, but it helps them tie in to how that's affecting us here on the Earth, and then how that's affecting us in our position around the sun as well. Throughout each of these different things that I've talked about, I usually give them some guidance of what to be looking for. As far as your own use within the classroom, one of the nice things about this website is it does actually come with different ideas of things you could be using. Some of them do come with student guides. I don't think I would trust it just from printing it off and handing it to them, but it's a great place to start. And all of these different things will at least have some beginning things for you. Student guides, teacher inputs as well. So it's a great resource for teaching astronomy, especially since that's such a topic that is difficult for kids to grasp. So it's certainly one that I recommend checking out if you teach any of those areas.